This past Sunday, I went to St. John's in Cambridge for the 1 o'clock Spanish Mass. This Mass was led by Reverend Antonio Escudillo. In this Mass, there were many instruments used, including the guitar and the maracas, which I thought was cool and I haven't seen at a Mass before. This was the Hallelujah, and this is in every Mass that I've been to, and this is a Spanish Mass, but it still sounds pretty much the same. And this is funny because we were just talking about languages in class, and the Hallelujah actually comes from a Hebrew word, and it is used in Latin Masses, Spanish Masses, and English Masses throughout the world today. This song right here is the anthem that is done during the offertory or preparation of the gifts. This song really struck me because it had a very catchy tune, and the way that they incorporated all of the instruments sounded very good in this church. All of the songs done at this church were not in a bulletin like every Mass that I've been to. They were in a book, and you had to follow along in the pages of the book, which I thought was different, but I thought it was a lot harder for the people of the Mass to follow along, having to switch through a huge book. But this song really sounded good. The acoustics in this church were not that good. I thought they could have been better, but I thought this might have been due to the voices in the choir, that they were not as talented as some of the Masses that I've been to, like St. John's the Divine down in the city, where they are some of the best. The demographics of this church were mostly Latino community. I think I was the only English speaker there that didn't speak Spanish, and the age range was a lot of young children with their parents, and every family had at least a couple kids with them, and they were very good in the Mass. They were quiet and not screaming, and I thought this was very cool. There was all economic ranges, and the partition levels were very good, as you can hear in this song right here. Everyone was trying to participate, which I thought was important to the Mass. For the hospitality, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best hospitality, and that's mostly because I couldn't communicate with a lot of the people in there, but it was good to go to a Spanish Mass and to see how they do it in their culture, but in the same religion. There was nothing to do afterwards, and a lot of people left right after they received their communion, which I thought was a little different than in my church, and that stood out to me as a little interesting. There was no incense or anything crazy getting sprinkled with anything. The bread and wine was the same as in my church, but a lot more people stuck their tongue out to receive the communion rather than putting their hand out like I was taught, and that's kind of the old way. Like my grandparents always stuck their tongue out and got the communion, put it on there. So I guess they're maybe a little old school. And three things that stuck out to me at this Mass was that there was a lot of flowers, and this really gave it a spring feeling, which I thought was important, and it gave the Mass like a special feeling of new life, which I thought that was cool. And I also thought how they used the maracas was very cool, because that's part of their culture, and the way that they incorporate it in their Mass is very special to them. And for a third thing that stuck out to me was that there was a lot of kids there, and they had very good manners and were very well behaved. And in my church, all the kids are always screaming, and I thought that was very cool. So I'll go back again once I learn some Spanish.